How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another SUI update. I have to bring your attention to the chart because we're getting some characteristic changes. If you remember a couple weeks ago, we were talking about this potential W double bottom occurring from this green box because we were actually seeing some bullish candlestick patterns in this key area of support. Now, you could argue that later on this could develop into a bearish pattern with a right shoulder, but as of now, I have to bring your attention to the fact that this level has been reclaimed. Yes, we were talking about the double bottom previously, and then it later developed to losing that key area of support. But with this new reclaim, it's actually revalidating the pattern. So down in this area, you can actually spot another double bottom or can view it as an inverse head and shoulders pattern. This is exactly what we need to see for the bulls, because I made updates worried that the bears are going to step in and invalidate the double bottom. That is what happened over the past week. But now, after the last few days, with Bitcoin itself breaking out and recovering key levels of resistance through the macro 886, but also this high over here, we're getting a bullish breakout. Now that means my expectation should be all altcoins should see the same. They might be a little bit lagged, but once you see SUI back above $3.37, it should continue its move back up. And that will show this W double bottom developing. It's not a worry that it made a lower low. It's still part of the pattern as you got this inverse head and shoulders over here. So you're seeing the characteristic changes from lower lows now into a higher low. All we now need for further confirmation for this to sustain is a break through that wick right there. And it also happens to be the moving average right over here. So on the break of $3.37, that's the 20 moving average right there, the yellow one. I have changed my colors. So just note that. If I were to place my micro fibs, this is where it's going to get interesting as I zoom out, because this is where we're going to see confluence, just multiple things in alignment. So the pattern itself out of the double bottom, what you do is you go from the lowest point. Now I'm going to be more conservative and use the lowest body closure rather than the wick, back up into the neckline. So one day, once that level is broken, and it's quite funny that's the micro 886. If you know my strategy by now, I'm always waiting for that level to break to be used as a trigger. It's funny how it's also the trigger here for the bullish pattern, but you might not have to wait to actually enter at that point. There are already early signs down here. There is a lot bigger risk though, because the pattern is not actually yet valid until the break of $4.11. You could argue that even though we're seeing those bullish signs and characteristics down here of a reversal, remember what I said earlier in the video, this could still be a head and shoulders pattern. So need to be aware of that until that $4.11 is broken. Technically, you don't have the double bottom breakout with the expected target set at a new all-time high. So of course, until that moment, you could argue this move back up with the new lower low, even though it has the bullish pattern and it looks like it's developing into double bottom, you can argue it could just be retesting previous levels as resistance to create another lower high. And then in the end, that would form a head and shoulders pattern, which is a bearish pattern for continuation even lower. Now, I just want the market to break out bullish, but I'm not going to be foolish and complacent if I start to see those signs. So as of now, it's good. It's exciting. We've got this planned move up with Bitcoin breaking out. All we're waiting for as a trigger for SUI is a recovery of $3.37. That then initiates the move up into $4. $4.11 is the next point of resistance that must be broken in order to validate this double bottom, giving us a new all-time high projection up at $5.50 to $5.82. That's it from me today. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and share on your way out. If you want to get educated, use the links down below. My strategy can be found in my Discord community, ebook, and the one-to-one mentorship plans.